Hello everyone, welcome back to One for the Weekend. A bit different this week. I'm in Flav's chair, first of all. I know.
I told you.
Deal with it. It's fine. I just felt like I wanted a moment. No, I like it. I quite like it. But Loz is here.
Hello.
Loz is on the One for the Weekend podcast. Yeah, absolutely.
Not for the first time.
That's the most enthusiasm Adam has ever shown
Yeah.
towards the start of a podcast, so we've got to be pleased with that.
Flav's normally a bit of a downer, you know what I mean?
He can be.
Yeah.
He can be.
Have I told people where he is?
No, he's... should we? Personal,
No.
isn't it? It's
Yeah.
quite personal.
Yeah.
What's happened to Flav?
Yeah. I mean,
but
he
we
shouldn't
wish
have
him
shoved
well.
it up, but it went in.
But it's got to come out.
Yeah.
It's got to come out. So Loz is here to help us out. Don't be nervous. I know it's a podcast. This is a sort of podcast format, but we film it as well.
So what is this
we
again?
put it out there.
Yeah, where am I?
Yeah, this is One for the Weekend, the best podcast you've never heard of. Welcome back, everyone. Huge game this weekend.
Massive.
Probably the biggest game of the season so far. It's got
Liverpool,
to be, isn't it?
Man City.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
We're going to be talking about that. We're going to be talking about Man United versus Newcastle as well, which is the biggest game for both of their seasons, I think, as well. Talking about who needs it more. Laurence, have you got your pick for Room 69?
It's sort of percolating.
It's percolating.
Do you know what I mean? Because you only asked me literally 20
5
minutes ago.
yeah. And obviously, football trivia, footballers' dreams, which you might not have heard before, Loz. Some disappointing headlines, some great headlines as well, which I'm excited about, and some Flames advice, which Laurence will be helping us via the medium of the Daily Mirror, Just Jane.
We all know that I'm good at advice.
You're good at advice.
Advice is probably like my favourite thing to give.
Well, I think it's. I mean, that's totally stolen. Obviously, the advice thing from the True Geordie podcast,
And that was totally stolen from every other format that's ever happened ever.
Yeah, get someone else to essentially create the content, and I'll react to it.
Yeah.
That's what we'll be doing later on. Let's talk about Liverpool, Man City first off, then, because it's the latest in a sort of run of tests for Liverpool to come through. Where are you at when it comes to Liverpool as a Liverpool fan?
I still love them. I know this is going to be different to the way that Flav normally talks, and I sort of want to live up to that. There's not going to be any tactical chat in this. No.
Okay, fine.
Chat.
Emotions.
Emotions. So I listened to two things this morning, and they sort of mixed together on the train as I thought, what can I talk about? How can I speak about Liverpool? And it was a podcast about a guy who forgave a man who stabbed him, and he said, what I want to do is I want to hear someone else's story and not put it through my own lens. I want to see it through his lens. And I thought that was interesting.
Right.
So I thought that counts.
Showcasing empathy, which is good.
Showcasing empathy. And then secondly, Matt Damon talking about just how successful he is.
Oh, really?
But in a really humble, like old man's, like he acts like he's 90 or something.
He does.
He's that guy he's done it all. He's seen it all. You know, he's been in Ocean's 11. He's done the action movies. He's done everything. And he's very humble about it now.
I find with movie stars, it's really weird. It's really difficult to sort of figure out what age they are.
Absolutely. Matt Damon, I have no idea.
What age is Matt Damon? I have no idea.
I'd say mid-40s at this point. Do you know what I mean?
What's his name? The guy from Deadpool?
He's like 40.
He's 41.
Yeah, he's 40. I thought he was 41, 42. Yeah. It's the guy. We all know who we mean.
Yes.
It's generic looking.
What's his name? Hang on, I get it.
It's not Ryan Reynolds.
Right. Thank you.
So it goes Ryan Reynolds, Ryan Gosling, and those two always get mixed up.
Yes.
And those two are in the same. Anyway.
And also the same age. But sorry, carry on.
Same age. Are they? Ryan Gosling is 41.
I don't know that.
Looks incredible.
It's all around the same
Can we
age,
look that
I'm
up?
guessing. I'll do that as you're... Go on,
Right.
finish your point.
So Matt Damon was talking about how...
I love how you're going to bring this back to football.
So he and Ben Affleck are great friends, right? Or were great friends. The way he's talking about him now doesn't sound like they are so much.
Right.
But he was talking about, Ben Affleck taking Batman and all these things, and how he was very surprised by Ben Affleck taking Batman. But when they first came out as actors, they were both... He was saying Ben Affleck came out in Armageddon, and he was seen as the big action type.
Yeah.
And Matt Damon came out in another movie, which the title escapes me now. And they were both characterised, the media both said, right, so Ben Affleck's the action one, and, Matt Damon is the serious actor. And they said both of us were really surprised by that because we knew each other and we didn't think of each other in that way. And they were like, no, that's not the way it is at all. And I felt the same about Liverpool.
Okay.
And I kind of thought, Jurgen Klopp, every manager is like a director of their own movie, right? He was talking about how directors would come to him and he'd go to directors and try and get people to buy into the project. Jurgen Klopp in himself, if we spoke about him as a movie director, is trying to get people to buy into his project. My worry is that Jurgen Klopp is a cult film director, where it's never seen as a box office smash, so he doesn't win the Premier League, he doesn't win the Champions League. but he has people who love his movies.
Right. This generation's Kevin Keegan.
He's this, but in a much less pathetic sort of way. Like Kevin Keegan's got stories about him where he is just pathetic. Do you know what I mean? Or at least he sounds pathetic.
Well, he gave up, didn't he, Kevin Keegan, a few times?
Yeah, and I don't think Klopp is the kind of guy who ever gives up. Do you know what I mean? He's the kind of guy who maybe stays a little too long.
Yeah.
But the point is, he's a cult movie director, and my worry is that this movie will only make it to DVD.
Right.
Do you know, Liverpool are only going to make it to second in the league and another Champions League semi-final or something like that. Do you know what I mean?
And to use the Kevin Keegan analogy, you're going to look back and it's the 96 team.
Yeah.
The Newcastle 96 team. I think, do you know what? I think there's
a worry.
That's what, and we're going to talk about Man United and Newcastle and Mourinho, of course, and I've got my own thoughts on that because I've been away on holiday.
Yeah.
And so I've been trying to catch up with the whole Mourinho thing.
Was it not sunny where you went?
It wasn't that sunny, no.
Right.
No, thanks though.
Terracotta doesn't help.
Is it not? Yeah, maybe. But yeah, no, it wasn't actually, surprisingly. But Montenegro is amazing. And we'll be doing birds in that later as well.
Right.
The birds in Montenegro.
Wow,
mate.
calm.
Got some footage, didn't I, on my phone?
Wow, yeah,
it's fine.
Right.
And
flocking.
And we'll be sharing.
Yeah.
Birds were flocking in a big way. But anyway, Liverpool, this game, for me, I get what you mean with that. But, sorry, the point I was going to make with the Man United thing was the fact that I think the Premier League now, especially these top six sides, with so many good teams at the top, I think the kind of football fans are going to start being a bit more understanding of managers and give them a little bit more time. I know I'm saying that in a climate where everyone is talking about Mourinho getting the sack, and we will get onto that. Yeah. But I think what could happen is exactly what you just said, in terms of Klopp might not win anything. Yeah. But I think you'll look back overall and go, this is a real amazing period for Liverpool.
Yeah, absolutely.
Even if you don't win anything in the next couple of years.
Reaching the Champions League final in itself is an achievement. It's not a trophy though, and he sort of lost that.
Do you get infuriated with that element of it? Because, and I guess I've had the same discussions with Flav about trophies, but if it doesn't come to your captain holding up a trophy that feels meaningful, then it is a failure.
Not really, because I think Liverpool and teams in themselves do. I mean, when you're successful as a club, then you always equate everything to a trophy. So successful teams or people who are used to being successful always go, well, the trophy is the only thing that matters. Yeah. And maybe in the future, Liverpool will look back and maybe they won't win it with Klopp, but maybe they'll win it with a future manager in like 10 years' time or something. Maybe there's a Premier League trophy in 10 years' time. And we'll look back and go, wow, actually the Klopp era wasn't as good as we thought, or whatever, because actually we thought the Brendan Rodgers era was good, and then we thought the Benitez era was good, and then we thought the Houllier era was good, etc. Yeah. And each one of those seemed to build on the previous one. So
is there no element of you that's kind of in a rush to win it?
I'm not
because you've got momentum though.
Do you know what I mean? I'm in no hurry to win a trophy.
Yeah. Okay. Fair.
However, what I did, and this was partly why I was making the Ben Affleck and a Matt Damon point, was Matt was looking back as an old man at this point, or an older man. He's 40, whatever. And he was, Ryan
Gosling's 37, by the way.
Wow, he looks great.
He does.
And he was talking about how as a younger guy it frustrated him. He was 21, 22, but he knew he just had to keep working. He would just keep working. And he was buying into these projects, and it's sort of, I guess what I'm saying with Liverpool is Klopp has got all these guys to buy in, but that can only last for so long, in the same way it can only last for so long with Pochettino. And it's incredibly frustrating because actually we're in a really shit generation of storytellers. I'm a terrible storyteller. You're an awful storyteller. All these people on YouTube are awful storytellers. And because we have to tell stories, or we're bad storytellers in a very short space of time. In the past, a journalist had a week to craft an article, and then it came out on a Sunday, and people would discuss it, blah blah blah. Now it's like, right, you've got 3 days to tell Mo Salah's entire story,
and it needs to be as big as possible.
Yeah. And so you sort of cheat the system a little bit. You find an After Effects package that trick people's eyes into doing this or whatever. Very few people have very much time. And even journalists online, it really left to the very sort of elite storytellers now. But everyone can now tell a story. And that's my frustration is, for instance, like, a fan channel, I'm not talking about a Liverpool fan channel, but another fan channel, because they have no idea, they're really poorly informed about Liverpool, can still have a say on Liverpool. And it's like, well, mate, you don't watch them it's not even about watching them every week, it's about watching them at all. You don't keep up with all the news, you'll have your say on them. and that's fine to have your say from the outside. It's just that I do feel there are people who say things purely to be destructive, and because they have such a big platform, it sort of it destroys things. And I'd be really annoyed if I was Mo Salah or Jurgen Klopp, and I knew that these people sort of were having a say in my story, and how annoying that would be for me.
Jurgen Klopp said something in his interview after the Napoli game, talking about Mo Salah, and the question was put to him about. Oh no, sorry, it was the Chelsea game actually,
right.
About Mo Salah and him not being in the same element of form. And he said to him at half time, because there was a moment where he should have had a shot and he didn't, try to play a pass. And last year he would have taken that shot. And Klopp used this phrase, and I don't know if it's just like, it's more basic because it's German, but I thought it was really good, is that it's you make the decisions here.
Yeah.
But that's something that I think, I'm going really broad now, but it works in life itself, it works in football as well, is you do have to decide what information you're taking in and what you're not. Because I think Salah is he naturally is in a place where the storyline has got to him. Because, and we've said it so many times on this podcast, and it does get a little bit disappointing, but with the barrage of information that you have, it's inevitable. Like Leicester going, well, what's the only story after Leicester winning the league? What's them getting relegated? So you make a big thing about that. And that's how the story goes, because you don't make a big deal when Leicester win a game, you make a big deal when they lose a game.
Exactly.
Same thing's happening with Mourinho right now. Same thing's happening with Salah right now, because he'd had such a big season, and everything he did touched the goal, and that went into his confidence. You could see all that. This time round, he's got to just kind of get through this little period.
That awkward time.
Yeah.
And also sort of Liverpool fans need to rally around him. In the same way they need to rally around Sadio Mane. You can tell when you're watching Sadio Mane, he just doesn't look confident.
Do you think in football, where confidence is such a huge part of it, that and there is so many people talking about it, we've got 3 cameras on us right now talking about it.
That means there's more people than just 2 talking about it. That means there's 6 people.
Exactly. Do you think that it's impossible for footballers, football teams, football managers to not be affected by the press?
Obviously not, no. Because the press, the people are reading the press, but I don't know if any more people are reading it and then thinking, I'll take that verbatim, or I'll take that as read, I'll take that as it's presented by the media. And people have got their conspiracy theories, they'll go, people have got better sources now. So before, maybe someone who was in, Flav was talking about this all the time, about how Liverpool have had their rivalry with Spurs built up by people who are not from Britain. They're sort of from people who are, from a global fan audience of football Twitter, who sort of poke fun at each other.
And their criteria is the league table.
Yeah, exactly. And so, of course, at some point as a player, you will struggle with that, because it must be really difficult for people to be talking about you. I think Mo Salah had the injury thing has also massively affected him.
Yeah.
And you almost can't come out and go, I had incredible pain.
This game, I just want to talk about Man City for a second, because this could be the end of the dreams of most Premier League fans who want a really good title race. I think if Man City tear it up, like they could do. I think I would be surprised because of the strength of Liverpool this season, because you're playing at Anfield, because of the momentum that you've got as a football club. But City... Sorry?
What momentum? Liverpool are
I think overall you're going on a draw and a last minute loss. But I think overall there's such a feel good factor with Liverpool.
Oh yeah, absolutely, yeah.
That's what I meant. If you had to pick one Man City player and go, right, well, let's stop him from playing.
Right.
Which Man City player is the player that scares you the most?
Is it scares me most, or as a Liverpool fan, because I'd stop Sterling from playing?
Just through hatred?
Not hate. No, I actually really like Raheem Sterling, but actually maybe you wouldn't. I'd stop David Silva.
Yeah.
He's fantastic, and he worries me. And we don't have anyone, I don't think, that can keep up permanently with him. At the moment, we have to pick a midfield, which is, like Milner, Henderson, Wijnaldum, or...
Keita might be back. There's something coming out of the BBC saying
so we'll see.
Okay, yeah.
Silva.
Yeah.
Because he's just so incisive, and I feel like there'll be obviously every player is difficult, but Silva is a string puller in that midfield. He's fantastic the other night in the Champions League as well.
Yeah, amazing goal. And I think I would pick Silva as well, especially when you haven't got De Bruyne. When you think of De Bruyne and Silva, it came into my mind a bit like Messi and Ronaldo, whereas Messi's this sort of intelligent magician.
Right.
Ronaldo's just awesome, physically, technically.
What a player is what you'd say. Yeah.
Yeah. And De Bruyne and Silva, I feel like that's a similar kind of thing. De Bruyne is that guy, amazing technique, driving with the ball, stamina, all those things. But Silva, like you say, with Liverpool, they can work as hard as they want, but his intelligence is so high that it can kill them. Can't it?
It's also really weird to watch Silva because he almost looks playful in the way that he does it. So it's not like he looks like
he doesn't seem up for it. He never seems.
No,
he just kind of gets on with it.
He'll just sort of go. He'll just sort of pass it and go 1-2, and you'll be like, yeah, of course he'll play a 1-2 here. That's ridiculous.
You, David.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and that for me is almost demoralising when someone so easily can do it, and your players look like they're working so hard. And he's just like 1, 2, 3, sure, and he just runs away from someone. That's what fucking demoralises me.
I think the thing you got to hope for Liverpool is that that first 10 minutes, like I have done a few times when I've been at Anfield, it's just been too much, too intense for them. But it's going to be always a game, isn't it?
It's a bit of a grudge match as well. After everything that happened last season, I think that was such a long season, which spanned for Liverpool, Man City, and then ended in two Champions League blowouts.
Yeah.
Those are such incredible moments for Liverpool that then came to nothing in the final, but they still created a bigger rivalry between Liverpool and Man City and made something real there. And there became a bit of a rivalry between the Liverpool fans and the Man City fans, more so because Liverpool fans were sort of mocking City fans and they didn't reply in the same way. Liverpool threw the stuff at the coach.
Yeah.
That sort of riled things up a little bit, and I still feel like that's there.
What's your prediction?
I think it'll probably be a draw in the end, maybe like a 2-2 or something like that. I can't see Liverpool winning it really, but that's more conservative. Just like I'd rather not see Man City win it.
Yeah.
Even if that happens, though, I still think there's more to come from that. It's still a return leg and those sort of things.
Yeah, true.
They're so close at this point.
And we're talking about the story again. For Man City, people are looking for the blips.
Yeah, absolutely. It's the same for Liverpool right now.
It's a different story.
Yeah, I mean, it's also interesting to see that the game against Lyon was such an exceptional game, and then see Lyon again in the Champions League not performing in the same way. Man City have got teams performing up to them now.
Yeah.
And I do wonder. I mean, part of me is wondering about the wear on Liverpool of just playing so many big games back to back. There's no rest in between those mentally. It's just a big game. There's not a team in there where you think, right,
a breather almost.
Not a breather in a disrespectful sense, but there's
rotate the squad, can't you?
It goes from Napoli to Man City, and then there's another big game fairly soon for Liverpool as well. I think it's Manchester United at some point.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of big games back to back. That I think has been really wearing on Liverpool.
Man United versus Newcastle, 5:30 on Saturday.
Tale of two Uniteds.
A tale of two Uniteds, indeed. Both really, really struggling at the moment. Newcastle yet to win, I think, this season so far. Going back to the media, and being on holiday, I kind of tried to.
Did you go away?
I did, actually. I tried to stay away from football for a little while, but then obviously with the podcast coming and just generally wanting to kind of know my stuff, you start listening to podcasts, reading bits and pieces, trying to get back in on it. And I've learnt nothing about Man United this week.
As in, what you've read.
So I know they shouldn't have played. So this is what I've learnt. They shouldn't have played McTominay.
Yeah.
Okay. There's no fight. Mourinho's grumpy.
Yeah.
Pogba should have kept his mouth shut.
Should he?
Well, so Roy Keane actually came out with some comments saying that, I mean, quite long-winded, essentially saying, look, it doesn't matter if you're not getting on with your manager or not. When you step over the white line, you should be able to kind of turn it on and don't get distracted by the balloons out there, which is my favourite part of it.
What do you mean by that? Like all that glitters is not gold, or like what?
I think he's saying, just concentrate on your football, essentially. Concentrate on doing your job.
Right.
Instead of moaning about the tactics or moaning about whatever.
But what if it's making it harder to do your job?
Let me read out what he said. So when you walk out on the pitch, you're playing for your pride, you're playing for your family, you're playing for your city, whatever it might be. Don't get that worried about. Yeah. Do it for Paris.
Do it for Paris. Roy Keane shouting, "Do it for Paris."
Don't get that worried about what the manager said about you or the coaching staff. You get out there and play. You can follow it up after the match, but when the game's going on, you liven up. Play with pride, play with energy, play with spirit. Hopefully, play with a bit of skill. But on your bad days, you roll up your sleeves and you fight for that jersey. Don't get distracted by the balloons out there.
Roy Keane's incredibly prescriptive in the way that he analyses. There are a few analysts in the media who go, if you don't play like me, you're not playing. McManaman is a fantastic player, really great player, but he relates everything to being a Galactico.
Right.
And he goes, there's got to be some pride in that dressing room. Where's the Zidane figure? And you're watching Burnley versus like whoever.
Yeah,
and he's going,
this is the FA Cup first round.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. And he's going, who's the Zidane in there? Who's the Figo? When I was at Real Madrid, yeah, we get it. But like, that's not, you can't say that for every club. And also, there's no way. I mean, Roy Keane did roll his sleeves up, but sometimes roll his sleeves up too much and injure people. Surely you can't say like, yeah, Roy, you're wearing a sleeveless shirt. Like, you can't. Roy Keane can't.
I would
say
imagine he's the kind of guy who would wear. He'd buy a shirt and cut the sleeves off.
Yeah, absolutely.
He'd like a vest like that.
Yeah, he's Stone Cold Steve Austin of football. Yeah. But at the same time, Roy Keane totally got distracted by the balloons. He popped all the balloons some days.
Because of MUTV, wasn't it? That's why he left Man United.
That was part of it,
because of that big balloon, MUTV.
Exactly, yeah. No, but the point is, so there were days where he let the balloons cloud his judgment. He was carrying the balloons in front of his face. Yeah. He ended someone's career because of his balloons that he saw out on the pitch.
Amazing.
So... No, Roy, you're wrong. Like, you didn't do that, and you weren't always. And he's very nostalgic in the same way as Scholes is very nostalgic of how to play for the club, how to make an institution. I get that whole institution thing. I do feel Mourinho has almost made the players forget it's Manchester. He's made the siege mentality, but he's almost got a siege inside a siege.
Yeah.
So the club is sieging him and the players, and then everyone else is ganging up with the club because Mourinho almost realised. People are using the Manchester United trope against me, so I'll make Manchester United the enemy. And then Paul Pogba went, yeah, I hate Manchester United, I should leave. And he went, no, not like that.
Shit.
And then, oh, fuck. He's like, the balloons, Paul. Yeah. Like, the psychology, he's messed up. And now people are going, the players need to play for him, the players need to play for some pride. No, he's just fucked up the psychology.
Yeah, he has.
As far as I can tell.
Yeah, he has gone too far with it. And
too many balloons.
Too many balloons. And he could have easily, I reckon, if you're playing about 5-6 years ago, Mourinho comes, you go, brilliant, everyone's going to hate us.
Yeah.
But he will love me. And obviously he's not offering up that love enough. And I get all those comments. The thing I just wanted to touch on was that I honestly, I read a lot of stuff.
Right.
And it was, the fight's not there.
Yeah,
he's not got them playing, Loz.
And he doesn't have them working for him. They're not working for the shirt.
Yeah.
They're not all these tropes that people trot out.
So what do they need to do to sort this out? They need to play for the shirt.
They need to play for the shirt. They need to play for themselves, pride, and their city. Like,
there's so little people going, right, what really I think needs to happen is, I think you need Herrera back in there. Because I don't think you've got enough tenacity in the middle of midfield. Pogba's not doing it for you enough. Fellaini's a bit of a trooper who just kind of like just
bumbles around
and wins headers, and there's a good option for that. But for me, I think they need. There's none of that out there at all.
Again, it's bad storytelling.
So how do you get out of it? It's just winning games, isn't it? I know I've just done it, haven't I?
No, to me, it's actually playing well, and so that's the thing. Is Liverpool for the first time the other night? Liverpool lost against Napoli. And didn't play well, and it was the first time I thought, oh, that's a bad sign. Whereas before that, they got through against Chelsea 1-1 or whatever. But I thought actually they did all right. And the same goes to Manchester United, where it's not only that they're losing or not playing well, but they also don't have anything good to watch. So that I think it was the funny side who's Carl Pilkington probably summed it up best.
Yes.
When he was talking on This Morning or something about watching Manchester United. And he was talking, he all summed it up about the monotony of the club and just how he wasn't enjoying it. And it was like, well, if Carl Pilkington's giving more insight than the lead at any newspaper, then you have a problem.
Yeah, I agree.
So how do you change it? I think you have to play football that is going to get the crowd going. Gets people going, man.
Well, I think confidence comes from committing to something. And being able to concentrate on something without worrying about other things.
So
right?
is it also the players have committed though, and then they haven't felt so they've committed to Mourinho, and then Mourinho's thrown them under the bus?
Yes, that is a huge problem, and because of that, their confidence is lower, their commitment is lower. they're worrying about losing other games, and they are looking at the balloons.
Is
and
it?
they're
But
not,
is it
they're not
also? I
concentrating
mean,
on the game. There's no. That's the great thing that Klopp's got that Mourinho's not got. That I've said for a long time, and with Mourinho, it was going to bite him again sooner or later because he'd got the siege mentality wrong. He got it right at Chelsea, the way that he was able to do it, but maybe he didn't have to deal with the defeats that they'd had at Chelsea because it went so well. But when it's gone that way at Man United, the thing that he's not got in his weaponry is what Klopp's got, which is the freedom that he can give the players by going, but the guys gave everything and they played with freedom and we had a lot of chances because he gives them that freedom on the pitch. Mourinho doesn't offer that. Manchester
United was also very much an institution, and Chelsea wasn't the institution that Mourinho. It was never Manchester United. Do you know what I mean? And I don't mean that in a disrespectful sense. I mean it in, you can't go to Manchester United and treat yourselves as a small club and treat yourselves as the underdog or whatever, the little horse or whatever. You can't. And that is another thing that everyone is talking about. And again, and I said this on the kickoff the other week, that problem you've got Rio Ferdinand, Gary Neville, Paul Scholes, Owen Hargreaves, Michael Owen, all going, when I played for Man United. Yeah, twice.
This isn't how it looked. And Liverpool struggled with that in the 90s.
Yeah.
Because you had Hansen, Lawrence and all the other guys who were just putting that same kind of pressure on them. Can't think of another one.
Molby.
Do you think they'll get the win this weekend? And to totally be hypocritical, if they lose, is that it?
No, it can't be it, because Mourinho, I think Newcastle will obviously play very defensive football, and Mourinho can use that as of course this wasn't the game that we were meant to break out.
Right.
But
I can't see them losing.
No.
Draw maybe.
Benitez is it would be a classic Benitez move to break out and go, ha-ha, we defended for 90 minutes and we drew 0-0.
I mean, he would love that, wouldn't he, to sort of take away.
Rafa's wife would love it. Oh, absolutely.
To be the guy.
If Rafa Benitez was the guy who just twisted the knife's already in.
Yeah.
If he just twisted it, that would be...
amazing.
It's also the fact Mourinho cannot use come on guys, it's Rafa Benitez. I hate him, you will also hate him. If he goes in that dressing room and goes, come on guys, it's Rafa Benitez, they go, it is Rafa Benitez, isn't it?
yeah, this is the chance.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. And the problem as well, in what you were saying with where the players play badly, they almost see a reward from that, because Paul Pogba, they go, well, of course Pogba's playing badly. He's having a hard time. And Pogba sees, well, people are starting to relate to me and empathise to my situation now. It's not why play well, but there's no motivation for him to play well.
Why give that little extra? Yeah,
well, why wouldn't I want a new manager? You know, we can have someone who'll make me play great. We'll have there could be a Zidane or a Deschamps or someone like that. And who knows, there might be a text on Paul Pogba's phone saying, keep going.
Yeah.
More balloons to come.
Yeah, all the balloons you can imagine.
Maybe Zidane sends that, if you send a text, you might not know this, but that you can send a text message from your phone with balloons.
Oh, right.
Do you know?
I did not know that.
I'll show you, look, and then everyone on the podcast can pretend to know. Screen, so hi.
Probably cut this bit.
Eh?
That's fabulous.
Sent with balloons. I imagine that is how
Keno, Paul Pogba's got Keno on his phone.
Yeah.
Balloons.
There you go, exactly, yeah.
Stop looking at him.
Yeah, but Zidane is also sending Pogba those just well done with balloons.
Right.
Yeah. I'm going to distract you now.
Room 69, Loz.
Technically, we said we could put Roy Keane in there, didn't we?
Oh, yeah,
but
we can put Roy Keane.
I don't want to put Roy Keane in there.
Okay, who's going in room 69?
Steve Bruce.
Steve Bruce goes in.
Steve Bruce.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, okay, look, whilst we're here, let's do disappointing headlines and great headlines. First of all, why do you think he should be in room 69?
Because for too long, Steve Bruce has done an innocent Harry Redknapp.
Do you think so? I think that's a little bit unfair.
Have you put Steve McLaren in yet?
No, we haven't yet. I'm waiting for the right moment. We keep winning a game,
yeah.
don't we? We're not there yet.
When you went away, it all went bad as well.
It went bad, but then they won in the week against Reading. How Brentford getting on?
Fine, fifth in the league.
Yeah. How'd you get in your last game? How'd you get on in your last game? Did you win it? You drew?
Yeah.
Drew 1-1.
Did you win the game before that?
No.
You didn't?
We haven't won for 5.
You won for 5.
What was your longest run? 4?
We lost the first 4, then won the 5th one, I think. So not a run that bad.
But you had some pretty bad abs.
We haven't lost. I think we've lost 1 in 5.
But how many have you won?
Yeah, you had some bad losses in that run of 5 as well. You had like
Hey,
wasn't there like a 4 or 5 nil in there or
Let's
something?
focus
Right.
on Adam for now.
2-0 loss to Blackpool.
Yeah.
2-0 loss, but yeah, played the kids. I mean, we shouldn't have, but
Yeah.
we did. Anyway, not
Trying to get rid of
important.
Steve?
Steve Bruce.
Right.
Yeah, you think he's a bit of a
I think Steve's sort of,
Harry Redknapp?
it's time for Steve to go. Do you know what I mean?
That was, I've got to say, that was my headline of the week was cabbage thrown at Steve Bruce.
Yeah.
Aston Villa and police hunt fan.
Yeah.
If you're throwing a vegetable or fruit,
Kumquat.
kumquat.
Just because of the headlines, the look, they won't know what fruit it is initially. There's so many dynamics to it. What has he thrown? I can't quite tell. Is that a kumquat? And everyone goes, oh, kumquat.
I'd go with a very ripe avocado. Because I think you're going to get a really strong purchase there, but actually it's not going to... I don't want to really... I don't want to do a Ryder Cup. I don't want to blind anyone.
Mm-hmm.
I want it to hit them and have the velocity to get there, because people neglect that when they're in the stands. How far have you got to get it?
Well, it's actually funny because you'd think cabbage is sort of... It's weighted just right to throw, isn't it?
It's a bit too big for my hand. But
a little big, but then you can also go two-handed.
Yeah.
Just the overhead. That's
true.
very accurate.
I think it's the cabbage because he looks like a cabbage. I don't think either of you know this, but he's got... His nose looks like an elbow, doesn't it?
So here's my problem with mocking Steve Bruce's image,
Right.
and people like you. Do you remember when Steve Bruce
I
was...
did a bit of body shaming the other week, didn't I? I got in trouble for it.
Who for?
Well, I just... Basically, this couple proposed. This bloke proposed to this
saw that.
girl, yeah. And I wasn't saying they were fat.
I think you were.
I wasn't. I was saying they don't look good in those shirts. And for such a big moment, you should be looking your best.
Oh, poor choice of words. He was beaten up. So he was beaten up when he
Steve
had his
Bruce?
house... Yeah, so he was beaten up when he had his house robbed or something along those lines,
He beat up
right?
his son as well. His son looks the same.
Fuck. So...
No, I'm saying they got the same nose.
Right. Do they?
I think so.
Right.
Similar.
So Steve Bruce was badly beaten in a house invasion, a home invasion, right?
Robbery.
Yeah.
It's not just an invasion. Just coming in. We're not taking anything.
It's just we're just colonising this part of your house, and he was badly beaten up. And ever since, I've seen Steve Bruce's face, and I thought that's the face of a man who was beaten up.
Yeah, I feel
And
bad.
It made me feel bad. It made me feel bad for Steve.
If that is the case, but he's also a hardened centre back. I reckon he's had a few elbows in the elbow.
Yeah, but there was a point where Steve Bruce looked all right.
Right.
And you sort of thought, Steve Bruce, kind father. Now you look at Steve Bruce and you think, Steve Bruce has very much had a hardship.
I don't think he looks mean. I think he looks quite cuddly.
Yeah.
Welcoming. He has got a welcoming face.
Yeah, you'd imagine if you're his son-in-law, though, you don't feel threatened.
Do you know what I like? I like... Geordie gives a good hug.
Right.
He's a big man.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I do like that.
Yeah.
And I like to be drunk around big men. And I'll tell you why, Laurence. Because I'll tell you why. Because as a smaller man, there is nothing better.
Yeah.
Than at the end of the night, it's about 4 a.m. You've had a lot of drinks. You've had so many drinks that you've then gone, right, I need to slow it down here. And then you've got tired.
Yeah.
You just nestle in.
Really?
A little cuddle with a
Into
big
Brian.
man.
Right,
Love
right.
that.
And how long will you be there for? Minutes?
Not long.
No.
Not long. Not as I need. I don't know.
Yeah.
A good tell. I go, I'm tired. And he goes, yeah, I know you're tired. We'll go home in a minute.
Yeah.
Cheers.
Can I rest on your boobs?
Yeah, well,
absolutely.
Pecs.
Yeah.
Anyway, cabbage thrown at Steve Bruce, Aston Villa and police hunt fan. I look forward to... if I was the fan, there's money to be made there by selling your story.
Absolutely. Yeah,
Take the risk.
In the same way as, there will be other fans now who are thinking about sneaking things into the ground. They're thinking of sneaking...
It could be, like in the... Do you think? Because in the 80s, they had inflatable fruit, like bananas and stuff like that. They loved all that.
Yeah.
Do you think it could become a thing?
If you want your manager out, you throw a cabbage at him.
Yeah.
Well, you know what, actually, I've got it here. There's a whole list of things. Celery. Chelsea fans love all that.
Celery is a good one. By the way, Steve Bruce has obviously benefited massively from things being thrown on the pitch before the beach ball. Steve Bruce benefited from that.
Was that when he was Sunderland manager?
Yeah. I think it was Steve Bruce then, wasn't it? Yeah. I think he massively benefited from that. So that was a turning point in Steve Bruce's career.
Charlton Athletic fans, they threw crisp packets.
And rightly so. That was to protest the owners, wasn't it? They weren't happy about that, and I supported them in that. Yes. Sometimes I'm not happy about people throwing things on the pitch. Crisp packets I'll support.
Young boys throw tennis balls and games console controllers. did that in a game.
That's weird. That's quite an investment to throw.
And Rosario Central fans, they threw toy babies, which looks frightening.
Yeah.
Really
and then
funny.
obviously the pig's head.
Pig's head, of course, yeah, Figo. That's the
Figo.
that's the go-to one, isn't it?
And the in San Siro, or Giuseppe Meazza in San Siro, to give it its proper name.
Very
James,
good.
It was the moped off the.
Flav said that a couple of weeks ago,
Yeah.
didn't he?
So I think there's a picture of this moped because there's sort of, obviously you can get up the ramps in.
I've never been there.
Meazza. So you can go up, and I think people got it up quite high and then revved it and just, obviously you can rev it and just give it that,
Too much for me.
and
Too
off it
far.
goes, and it went off.
Do you know what they
onto
should have
the
done?
pitch.
Like you used to do with your Action Men. You put like a plastic bag around it. Should have done that, and they could have gone. Whoop.
How many plastic bags does it need to float a moped?
So no, let us know in the comments below.
Yeah.
Blackburn fans put a live chicken on the pitch.
Oh yeah, Venky's.
Oh, that was a good
Very
one.
good,
And obviously
yeah.
there's been cats, but no.
Cape on.
no one's ever
Quick
flown.
fire, disappointing headline.
Yeah.
Previously, we've had Alexis Sanchez dropping a bag of Doritos, and Romelu Lukaku stopping for horses.
Yeah, that was.
This one isn't football related, so we'll just be quick with it. But it was a good one. It was sent to me by, I think it's at Clinical Trent. Thank you. And if you see disappointing headlines, please tweet us. It's about Meghan Markle.
Right.
Meghan closes a car door.
Yeah.
That's the headline.
They are.
That's it.
The Daily Mail are notorious for this.
BBC News.
Bad. Bad.
But so the reason it's a story is apparently it's bad etiquette for her to be doing because she's now Duchess, isn't she?
What, to
Of
close a car
Sussex.
door?
So she was at this, what was the event? Royal Academy of Arts to attend her first solo event since becoming a royal.
Yeah.
The door was open for her, and then she just went.
Slammed
and
it behind her.
Some people said she was down to earth. Other people said she was putting people out of a job.
Brilliant.
If you're that guy, imagine you've just been like 30 years. And
Furious.
and like dinner parties at the weekend, you're going, no one's figured it out.
Yeah, yeah.
They could shut themselves. It saves them about 30 grand.
Yeah.
And then he's gone, she's just seen it and the world's gone slow-mo. And she's
Yeah.
shut the door.
She's figured it out.
She's figured it out.
The fucking Duchess.
So yeah, quick fire, disappointing headline.
Nah,
Meghan closes a car door.
They make the most of her doing things all the time because they're racist.
Right.
Not the BBC.
Not the BBC, of course
Just the
not.
media.
Last week, football trivia time. Last week, no one put a single answer in the comments. Basically because they were all just loving Rory. Everyone loved Rory last week in the comments. I was hoping for, let's get on the comments and be like, oh, where's James? Missing James.
Yeah, yeah.
Nothing.
Nothing.
Just like, oh, Rory's brilliant. Rory's the only Chelsea fan I love.
It's
Look at
true.
his trousers.
Rory,
He's a great guy.
it's also because Rory
Such
breaks
charisma.
things down in such a simple way that everyone goes, that's so relatable.
He's always, from putting my producer's hat on, he's great for a line.
Absolutely, yeah.
So good for a line.
He's, I love Rory.
A line in a video.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's also, to be fair, if you've worked in any of James's previous institutions, you'll know he's good. It's also that Rory just says things that sound poetic but are just so empty. And he says things like, it's a joke. He started a video by once going, I am on the crest of a wave. And I was like...
He does talk like that, doesn't he?
Yeah.
I
am on the crest of a wave. And this is top 5. And you're like, what? It doesn't make any sense.
Anyway, I'm pleased everyone loves Rory.
He deserves it. He deserves it.
One of my
at this point.
favourite Chelsea fan friends. How many Premier League teams have birds on their crests was the question last week.
Wow.
And they offered up a few. There are 6. The answers were
Liverpool.
Brighton Hove Albion,
Yeah.
Seagull, Burnley, Stork, Cardiff City, Bluebird, Crystal Palace, Eagle, Liverpool, Liverbird, and Spurs, Cockerel.
Right.
Good bit of trivia there for you.
What are the animals on Newcastle's?
Unicorns.
Are they
Both
unicorns?
unicorns. Well,
Maybe.
I like their badge. I like Newcastle's badge. It's good. This week, the question is, which 5 2018-19 Premier League clubs have non-British captains? That's a little Brexit one for you.
wow. Okay. Wow.
There are 5.
Do I have to name some?
You can guess one and then leave it for the people in the comments. Let us know in the comments below. Please get your answers in because no one did it last week.
Are we talking club captains here? So Manchester United, Antonio Valencia.
Not on here. It's strange.
Yeah.
Worrying.
Because he is quite literally the club captain, isn't he?
Yeah. Well, there's another. There's 6 then.
6.
Let us know in the comments below. Right, that backfired, didn't it?
Yeah.
This website, right.
No, I mean that. But Antonio Valencia.
Yes. All right.
Ready?
Footballers' dreams can happen to you. Look at Flav, he's had two. Occasionally they happen, but you know you gotta be strong.
I see what I know, Rory now.
Harsh. Footballers' dreams. So, Lars, I don't know if you've seen this before.
Yeah, I have.
Flav had a dream about Sean Derry having a vagina in a hot tub.
Right, yeah.
And we asked the people, have you had a dream of the footballer? Occasionally they
swear I
happen,
have at some
but
point.
you know you've got to be strong.
You know
and we've
you
got a few
to be
here.
Strong.
One which leads into a question that I'm quite happy about. And I'm intrigued to hear your answer. So first up, Aaron Hayes. I had a dream that I was playing FIFA and I was controlling Seamus Coleman, but he was real and the pitch was my local area. I was just making him dribble through alleys and outside pubs.
That is a lovely
Simple
dream to have.
Is there a player you wish you could control? Like on FIFA, you watch him and it's infuriating. Mine was Raheem Sterling for England, by the way. Just to get that R2, just control that finishing just a little bit.
Finesse
please.
is what you mean.
Yeah.
Is it R2 or R?
I'm pro
Is it
Evo.
R2 R1?
It's
R1.
right, yeah, I do pro Evo. Sorry.
Yeah. I guess Sadio Mane. He's got the pace. On FIFA, you'd be able to absolutely burn with that. And sometimes his decision making is not the decision that I'd make. I want to, because there's times where you're shouting at the screen, "Come on, Sadio."
Calmly.
Yeah.
Come on, Sadio. You can do better than that.
Yeah, you can do better than that. There was a pass on Sadio Mane.
Let us know in the comments below the player that you wish you could just pick up a FIFA controller and control when you're watching them play. Let us know in the comments below. Second dream, Anil Full. I had a dream. I say dream, it was more of a nightmare. I had the chance to become a professional footballer and I was super chuffed.
Right.
However, the team that wanted to sign me up was Everton. I'm a huge Liverpool fan.
Right.
I thought long and hard and had Mesut Ozil come to me and tell me to wait for Liverpool.
Wow.
So I chose to sign with Everton because I hate Ozil and he is a fraud of a footballer.
Ooh.
On my debut for Everton, I scored a hat-trick and took home the match ball. That's when things began to get a little strange. The ball started talking to me and I felt so bad for kicking it. He became my devil and haunted me until I broke my leg. Pretty fucked up. This is good, by the way. This is what I want. I want a few more. I want spooky dreams because I want as random as possible. Flames advice.
Great. I'm well in for this.
Okay, here we go. No advice from you guys. You need to offer us more advice, guys.
Great.
Get some questions in. We had a few for a while, but they've run out. Just Jane has had this from someone. My man is having sex with his secretary, but he's filthy rich. So, Loz, the aim of this is that I'm gonna read out this, and then we've got to see if your advice is the same as Just Jane.
I understand.
Okay. He tells me I'm his only girl, but then I find evidence of him sleeping around. He pretends that he has to work, and then I discover he's been on a dirty weekend with his old secretary. I think it's his previous secretary, not his old.
Okay,
secretary.
right,
She's
yeah.
not 60.
God, that's horrible.
He's a self-styled maverick and a man about town. I'm picturing Logan Paul now. I admire his drive. He earned a lot of money very quickly on property deals after the 2000s.
Can I say this isn't a real story?
crisis.
This is a lie of a story. There's no way that anyone who's been cheated on by their husband or whatever says my husband's a maverick.
Yeah,
you know?
true. Yeah,
what a
wouldn't be
maverick
that positive,
is. Yeah.
would you? Like any decent entrepreneur, he was in the right place at the right time. Blah 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 blah.
See what I mean? There's no woman who's ever been cheated on.
Stop picking him up.
Yeah, exactly. I get the feeling you're the issue in the relationship.
When I appeal to him to be nicer to me, he promises he will, then goes straight back on his word.
Maverick.
His sister, my oldest mate, despairs of him. She can't stand the money-obsessed man he's become. I've never been out with anyone else or even kissed another guy, yet I'm treated appallingly. He says we'll be together forever, as long as you... which is beginning to sound more like a threat than a promise. So what would you do if you're... Because it seems like she's come to terms with that he's cheating on her.
She's come to terms incredibly well and then been able to write,
What are you going to do? He's a maverick.
What do you know? The guy's a maverick. Best not to do much.
What advice would you give this?
I would
this
say...
married woman.
I would say... Am I looking to give the same advice? Do I get a point if I...
No, I like to compare. See what Jane's offering, see what you're offering.
Sure, I would say divorce your husband. You found evidence of cheating. You found evidence of that. You take the evidence. sheathe it, use it, and divorce the prick.
Yeah.
Yeah, take half of everything he's got.
Well, I imagine there's some money to be had there, isn't there?
Absolutely, he's a self-styled
She's
maverick.
totally missing the point.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
I think she likes the maverick ways, that's the problem.
Right,
Jane
some
said
women like
this,
bad boys.
every time your man has sex, she's taking a different route. Every
Right.
time your man has sex with another woman, he puts your health in danger.
Your health.
Your health.
Yeah, it's the health that I was most bothered about when I first came into this.
I saw that this was on the tip of your tongue, but you didn't say it, but Jane has. You sound like a bird in a gilded cage.
You know what? It was the image I had in my mind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're in a long-term relationship with a man who is now very rich and influential, but you're about as happy as a stuffed parrot. I don't know what that means.
Can I just say, Jane sounds like the least sympathetic person in the world.
Yeah. He has wealth.
She sounds like the friend that goes, go on, tell me
Well,
that.
she's a gossip, isn't she? He has wealth and an attitude, but you're not impressed. You don't like the way he conducts himself and feel as though you're just telling her how she feels. Why don't you do yourself a favour and set yourself free?
Right.
Okay, so she agreed.
Okay.
Good advice.
Like a bird in a gilded cage.
Lawrence got it correct, the same as a professional in Just Jane. Thank you, Adam, for
Yes,
that.
she was a professional.
Finally, before we leave, bit of birds and that.
Yeah.
So as I said earlier.
Not trapped ones.
No. Oh, no, free. Free birds.
Yeah.
I was in Montenegro,
And
beautiful
yours.
country, lovely country. And
What are the people like?
I'll tell you what, the birds,
Right.
we'll get onto the birds in a
Yeah.
second, but the people, lovely, beautiful people. Men were worryingly attractive.
Wow.
Not for me, I'm happily heterosexual.
Yeah.
But I did worry about the gaze of my lovely wife.
The gaze is G-A-Z.
Sorry.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, the homosexual element of my wife.
Yeah.
Looking at them.
Yeah. She
But
loves
she
men.
seems. I don't think she got up to anything. Really.
Do you have a relationship where she could nudge you and go, look at that?
No, I seem to. I think I say it before it's a thing, just to kind of prove I'm not bothered.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
I'm petrified.
You
just
go,
believe it.
oh my God, look at those,
There you
look
go.
at those pecs.
Well, yeah, look at all the hotel staff are very good looking, male
course.
and female.
Yeah,
But I think
yeah.
if I make a big thing about the men, then she might not spot that I'm having a quick look.
Right.
It's fine. isn't
Right, it is fine.
It's
Is it fine?
You can appreciate the form of a man or a woman, I think. You just got to do it discreetly if it's a woman.
And you at that point will never nudge her and go, look at those.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fabulous.
Yeah.
No.
Fabulous. What?
There's
The view,
some advice,
the view.
free advice. Don't do that.
Yeah.
With your girlfriend, go, wow, ooh, you see that?
Yeah. And
She's been doing the squats.
but also at the same time, I do see there are couples who do that, and I think, you know what, good for you. You know, you've really come to a point where you both are so secure in the relationship where you can both just go, look at those, or the man can nudge the wife and say, look at that man.
Yeah.
But without the wife at any point worrying, is he gay?
Yeah, I think that's fine.
There should never be that worry.
No.
You should never be questioning whether the other person, is still, the orientation you want them to be.
Lovely.
Yeah. But sorry,
Importantly,
what was the hotel like?
it's fine.
Yeah?
It's nice. Yeah, it was good. The weather was a bit chilly, as you commented on earlier.
Yeah,
Wasn't
yeah.
it? The sun was shining, but there wasn't a tan there. But what I did want to bring something back. You do that when you go on holiday.
Yeah,
Often
absolutely.
it's a Toblerone, something like that. I thought.
Did you?
I saw. The birds and that were amazing. And I thought, let's get that on camera.
Brilliant.
So to end the podcast, got a bit of footage off the old phone.
Yeah.
Adam, I'll send that to you. You can treat the people with this. Check out these tasty birds. Birds and that, isn't it, fam?